All right, Shalom Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, double honors to the apostles, bishops, great elders, great millstone, much salutation to the brothers, teaching word for the whole flex, soon to be like Most High will. Say he's shortening the time for the elect's sake, we're living in the time the elect work is being done. Contrite spirits, hopeful elect, multitude return back to the Most High. Shalom. Quick little, told you I was going to do these black cell testimonies, and, hopefully it's edifying. And this is to encourage brothers too when, they think maybe they don't have anything to talk about, but it's always something to talk about, especially if you experience things in the day, which most likely than not, talking about things at your job, things, walking into a store, somebody talking to you while you're in line or something, and, they may say something that's, that could be edifying. When you examine it and break it down. But, this particular thing happened at the job. Edom, pretty much. He looked like Edom. He could be a Jake. It seemed like he's more of what I'm seeing in Edomite. But, he was telling me his problem that he lost his mom, pops, his house, that they left him. He has to pay property taxes on. I think I'm not mistaken, the mortgage. But it got to get the roof done, and it's just money that he doesn't have. And you would think like he's probably mid, a little bit younger than 40. 45. He's probably like 41 or something like that. Maybe late 30s. But, this is, so to speak, uncommon for Edomites. I mean, now today is not, because they're really falling, and the system is failing them. Education is failing them. You know how at least get down to, the top Edomites. So, he's telling me all these things, and he's saying, well, he ended it with, I'm on pills, and, I take all these prescriptions, and, I have a heart condition, or my heart hurts. I know I drink too much beer and liquor, and then, you know what I'm saying, and he's working on top of that, so he's explaining all this, saying that, I'll probably end up blowing my brains out. That's probably what would end up happening. And if he was under enough pressure, pretty sure he would do that. I'll see him on the news and all that. And I'm saying this because that's what kind of world we're living in. Like, that's, the America is not the same America as it used to be. And the citizens of America are not in the same thinking as they were back then. And, what I was going to get before I talk too much, I had a few scriptures in mind also, like, and this is a morning state that the world is in. Said when the people are in authority, righteous in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in authority, people mourn. So this is a state of mourning. It's a, drinking beer and ready to blow your brains out, you know. And I remember him even, let's say 6, 7 months ago. I remember he said too that, yeah, I don't understand this. This is not it. How is this adding up? Pretty much, you know. And if he's Edomite, he's a 2-time loser, like Apostle Tahar has quoted before in the past. He's a 2-time loser. Um, but these things are becoming more common and more normal than anything, you know. Up to especially to today, you know. I mean, this is what you know, a Edomite. So far as you know, I know, or what he appears to be. So he's having trouble. He's ready to blow his brains out, you know. And I'm pretty sure it got something to do with overall the truth too, vibration of the truth, and how the Most High, definitely how the Most High set things up to be, um, which is Edom is on his way out. Edom is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of that follow. And it says also, give me any plague of the mind. I mean, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, which is your mind. So, you know, that could be a plague unto you to always be, you know, always worry about, you know, things are too much for you, overwhelming. I mean, you know, he, you know, the society, the people of society is getting to a point where there is too much to bear. Even just the simple thought of things, you know, too much to bear. So that's what kind of state the world is in today. And I didn't answer him with anything, you know, but you know, I didn't doubt him that he would do that. But it says you have to lose your life to eat. He that gains his life shall lose his life. So, you know, given the wisdom that we've been given through Yahweh Yahushai, through apostle, bishop, elders, teaching the word, we know this fashion of, you know, ill behavior when it comes to not getting what you want, you know, and things that you can't see that you'll say, go ahead and say, well, it doesn't add up. And the Most High kept them from seeing that, kept them from having wisdom to deal with these things, deal with these matters, because it shouldn't be at no point where you say, well, I'm ready to blow my brains out, when the Most High give you knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And he said he'll make a way. Was Israel ever rejected? Been any, paraphrasing, any captivity? There's no way out. I think this is the same dude that got a wife, probably a kid or two. But these are the same men that will tell you before they tell their wives that they're going to kill themselves. So, you know, on our part, we already know what to do. Pray, you know, uh, do all we can to stick close to the Most High. There is no brother in the truth that should be suicidal or even having so weak that he can't maintain, get up and, you know, renew his strength through the Spirit, and, you know. So this is what the kind of world we're in. You know, if you don't have the Spirit of the Most High, you're bound to say something like this guy. You're bound to carry it out. What does it also say? It says, Wisdom cannot dwell in a corrupt, malicious soul. Wisdom cannot dwell in a malicious soul, King James Version. Says Wisdom of Solomon 1:4. It says, for into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that which is subject to sin. For the Holy Spirit is of discipline. The Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit. So the Holy Spirit of discipline, there's no discipline there. You know, there's a lot of what these other these are just particles of the representation of things that's going to start happening. Not with this, just with this guy, but people all around the world. You know, suicidal, confused, not knowing how things are adding up, and Most High did not give them the wisdom to balance that out. You know, to maintain that out, um, and remove from thoughts that are without understanding and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. So, you know, there's knowledge what the Most High gives us to deal with matters, you know, and to stay balanced, you know. And sometimes Eve could, I mean, not Eve, but E can play that game. He could play that card because he's tricky and deceitful too. He could play the card like, well, you know, that's his way of acting hard. Like that's his way of, you know, like yeah, you know, I'm ready to blow my brains out. I'm crazy, you know. But whatever the case is, you know, he he went to the extreme to have that happen to where, you know, he had to talk about it because he would really consider that. He would really that would, you know, you break you or make you stronger. He would seriously take that route, and I saw it in him that he was sincere about what he's saying. You know, that's probably what he said. That's probably what's going to end up happening. You know, blowing my brains out. So, you know, it just lets you know that, you know, in his spirit, according to what he sees in the world, um, it failed him. You know, it failed him, man. You know, and whatever a man's goal is to be rich, or wherever the goal is to move forward, and he's thinking universally, and you know, into college, whatever you want to call it, into college, into the, you know, and rate that as his success, then, you know, and he's at a warehouse and he's dealing with all these problems with his house. Well, you know, that's just being caught up in that kind of thinking where it could take you like that to where you feel like, well, it's never going to be a answer for this, a solution for this, an outcome that makes sense. And that's why a lot of people blow their brains. But Most High has given us knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and you know the ability to help each other. You know, so we wouldn't be able to do it. So we wouldn't have to do that or think about doing that. So that's very important to know, like how you are balanced in this life to where things won't affect you. You become stoic. You become seasoned. You become, you know, pretty much through the Yahweh Yahweh Shai, untouchable. And this is a great knowledge this truth is a great truth. It's great knowledge and wisdom, understanding in this truth. Discipline is a great form of conduct and form of character to where you don't lose yourself. And that's what we don't want to do, lose ourselves, man. So, endure in the truth, as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai. And because these devils are going to, I'm saying this too, because these devils are going to try to make it seem like this is not working. They're going to seem like the truth is a fad or made up, some, bogus, um, belief that the Most High is not real, that everybody is just, coming and people just they're born and then they die and whatever the case may be. But no, this is what we do as a mission, a ministry, ministry. So it's important. The apostles and elders, apostle, bishop, elders, and like-minded brothers in the body, they're important. So you can have a common man that go through this and fail, and he'll tell you his story, and it seemed like the worst story in the world, and you'd be like, well, damn, what happened to him? Most High is not concerned about that. He's concerned about his men that he deals with, his people that he loves, his elect, and how they're getting fed. So you'll have these. You got to know in your mind. You got to know in your mind. I think they say indefinitely. You got to know in your mind for sure that no matter what they say, no matter what you hear, no matter what you experience from among your own people, yourself, your brethren in the truth, the other nations, that you're a man that the Most High is calling out to exercise your spirit, exercise your conduct, your what do you call it, your character, for the sake of wisdom, disciplining you, so you could be the best man you could be. So, and that's with the elect, because all these other things that are coming, they're just coming. You hear the man say, "Well, yeah, I'm about to, I want to blow my brains out." It's probably gonna happen. Well, there's a lot of people, more people that would do that too, or think about it at least, or read some kind of, controversy. I mean, adversary. How would you say it? Some kind of level of adversity where they like, what do I do? I'm stuck, or how can I deal with this? So, you know, that's why it says in the scriptures, there's, what it says, yeah, common to man, King James Version. I'll start to close out. Common to man, King James Version. I say common, man. Fiery trial. Fiery trial, King James Version. It says, "Beloved, think not it strange." First Peter 4:1, 4:12. "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you." So if a common man has a fiery trial or a situation to where it tries him, and the Most High is not dealing with him, he's going to blow his brains out, or he's going to, commit an act that's, that'll send him to hell, to the grave. As though some strange thing happening to you. So even when you come into this truth, it says, "Prepare yourself for temptation." You're gonna go through some experiences as a fiery trial, And then you'll be like, well, what, for sake of a real Edomite at the job, and you say, well, what's different between me and them, Lord? Because, we're both at the same job, and, you know, I'm doing better than he is, you know, and they supposed to be on top. Like, don't even, Most High, we can't, don't even entertain that, man. Most High is about structuring what he's written in these scriptures, you know. Esau is an elite, no matter where these average Edomites are going through, there's an elite. That's who, you know, the Most High is focused on, as far as these prophecies. So it ain't even about this one guy at the job, one Edomite at the job. It ain't even about us individual that like what we're going through in our trials and tribulation with, can't pay a phone bill, can't pay rent. And I know those are trials, and a lot of those connected to the curses. But then you have to say, well, look, Most High is merciful. Most High is powerful. Most High, He answers prayers for His people, for the people He loves. So I'm going to take a chance to, the opportunity, whatever, to ask the Most High to help me, to heal me, to show me things, to let me learn things, to help me with more patience, you know? Because even if you don't have money, but you have patience, if, this man, because it's usually Edom that kills his whole family, if he had patience and understood scriptures and well for good for discipline, he he wouldn't kill his family. And he would teach his sons the same thing: how to be disciplined, how to have character, how to have conduct, how to have be stoic. So everybody gets to live. It says, "But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Yahweh sufferings, that when His glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy." And that's what they want to make you believe too. That if you're going through sufferings, then you're, like even the Jacob say, yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what God would have His own people suffering, and where we gotta wait and do this and do that. You know, he's a hypocrite. He'll have somebody. He'll do that to somebody himself. Have them waiting. Have hurt them, kill them. You know, Esau, like, if he get to a point like he try to break it to, believing like, hey, I don't believe in God. He's what kind of God would? And then he could kill people, and then he does it to his own family or himself, execute himself. So you got to think, and you got to examine before you move. You know, so when Esau talk, anybody man talk like that, a woman, whatever, you be like, damn, I understand what they were saying. You might understand, but it most likely is a deeper understanding. 'Cause you don't know what that person did. And also, remember I mentioned that this dude drinks and he pop pills, and then you said, well, what came? He did that because of the pain. He did that because of the stress. Well, there's a problem, and it got to be fixed. It got to be answered. And if you're not willing to go through the proper um, lessons, instructions to get fixed, you know, just like you tell a smoker, well, if you want to quit, prevent cancer or whatever, you quit smoking. And they was like, well, I don't know, because that's what I do. That I'm in a routine. And my parents smoked all their lives, and you know what I'm saying. And it's just a habit. It ain't really well. And then you die, and then well, you know, he that live by the sword die by the sword. He that what he sows, what he's reap. So I'm getting closed out. But without saying this, it's like you have to take a breath, step back, and examine stuff, man. To where like, okay, I know I'm in a fucked up world. I know it ain't the best food, it ain't the best air, but I'm not gonna just hurry myself to the grave. I'm not gonna kill myself. You know? Yeah, I'm hated by Esau. Yeah, the government's doing this. Most High is stronger than that. Most High is stronger than all these gods. These gods are idols, puffed up idols, whatever. He's stronger than he. You got to stop underestimating the power of the Most High, man. Stop underestimating the names of the Most High. Stop underestimating the power of Son. Stop estimating the word of these scriptures, man. Start exercising this, man. You know, quit that bummed out spirit, man. Because it really makes a difference, man. Because if you keep saying that and coming up with these your own analogies that had nothing to do with the scriptures, and you say, well, what's so important about me? It's a billion people and more than a billion people on the earth. What's so important about me? I came from this place. How can the Most High, or God, have us, like I said, in this condition? Or how does he hate Esau and Esau's rich and he's prospering and all that? He's always winning. Well, it said the wicked prolongeth their life in the scriptures, but it said the wicked shall be put out. The light of the wicked shall be put out. The staff of the wicked, shall be cast down, paraphrasing. But, the one thing that Jake is missing with a lot of this stuff, with a lot of things he know here, he want to believe is patience. You know, patience is suffering. You know, patience is waiting a little bit longer than you thought it would take. Hurt a little bit more than you thought it would hurt. You know, accepting that you're in a condition and this is how you have to operate, to get out of this condition. And it comes with patience because you got to, have patience long enough to see it turn the other way. And this is a dude at the job. He's not even, you know, he. I mean, you got people younger than he is and ready to take their lives, man. And it's like the people that's in this truth, like they already saying like it's been too long, and they go back into the world, and you be like, and then the wise man is like, what's in the world? What is it for a man to gain his whole world and lose his soul? What's in the world that's so attractive and so, fulfilling that you would risk, you know, losing your soul, losing your soul, to where it doesn't make any sense. It's like, there's nothing that's in this world that you can fulfill yourself with to be satisfied enough to where it feels like paradise. That's why everybody's on drugs and all that, and drinking, and they drink every day or every weekend. It's a routine, and they hate themselves to where they'll execute themselves and they own people own around them. And and these people are kind of like they're cordial people. They work, they have a schedule, they come to work every day, but mentally they're toxic because nobody would say that. And you might say, well, a man could have problems going through something. Yeah, a man say something out of his out of just out of talking. He wasn't serious about it. That might be, but for you to have a testimony about it, and mention all those things that are true, and it affects you like that, it's most likely serious enough. So you got to catch your mind and be like, man, let me stop thinking like that. Let me stop. Let me go to the scriptures. See what the scriptures say. Scriptures say we're gonna go through hard times. Okay, I get it, Lord. I expect that. It's nothing worse than something happening to you, and you didn't know it was coming to where you know, uh, to where you can't prepare yourself. And that's what the Most High has given us, this word to prepare ourselves. The answers to this life that we're living, to every situation that we're in, every problem that we encounter, is a solution, and there's a healing for that in the scriptures. So, but this is an example of a man losing his mind, man. And it's more believable now in this time with Edom than it is with Jake, because it said Edom, it's the end of his world. And whether this man know it or not, or whether he know he's Edom or what Edom is, his spirit bear witness. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. Shalom.